Now let's talk to Global Affairs Analyst Gbenga Onifade, who joins me live from the United Kingdom. Liz Truss will now become the shortest serving Prime Minister in British history. It means that the UK would have 5 Prime Ministers in just 6 years. For a country that used to be synonymous to stability in governance, just how chaotic would you say the British politics has become in recent years?
How is that for a record? And at the same time, you could say, 3 prime ministers in the space of 12 months, which of course we probably have another one next week. So you are right. 2022 has been a very difficult year, and unfortunately, we could say the fact that the UK left the EU, a few years ago now, and since then the UK has just been struggling to get it right. From David Cameron trying to deliver the EU to Theresa May, who people thought, she was just bumbling, and then Boris Johnson. Of course, Boris Johnson, he was just riddled with chaos and upon chaos. And then, of course, we have Liz Truss right now. Unfortunately, she did actually, or should I say, fortunately, Liz Truss modeled herself after the Iron Lady, Margaret Thatcher, and she did say she wasn't going to tinker around the edges. She wasn't going to roll out no matter what. Just as yesterday, she said, "No, I am staying put for the job." But unfortunately, of course, as we've now seen, less than 24 hours ago, in just the 44 days, today's the 45th day, calling, for a new leader to be elected. And unfortunately, yet she can't make it. So you're right. The UK, which seems to be synonymous for stability and progress, which is a model for the world, UK is just one of the people now, or one of the countries, which is roiling in this global chaos that we have. But there we are. You can't help it, right? I think nobody want to be on the hot seat, right? But at the same time, it is very difficult.
We saw inflation rate move to 40-year high in September, and a 6-week tenor is now being termed as perhaps a season that has pitched Britain deep into political and economic turmoil. But would you say this is a Liz Truss challenge, given the track record we've had even before her?
It's a difficult one to say, to be honest, because by the time when they had the leadership election going on for her to be in the run-up to her being the prime minister, she did talk about her plans. And while these plans seemed, future in hindsight, you might think they're quite good, because low taxes, you probably think you want to encourage people or the wealthy to put the money back into the economy and to invest. But the warning sign has been there. They've been there all along. The previous competitor, if I'm going to call it, Rishi Sunak, did warn that these plans will backfire, number one. Number two, one thing everyone has been talking about is the fact that she seemed to balk. She seemed to be quite concerned about facing the last dispatch box exercise, which was a PMQ Prime Minister's question. She had somebody else, which was Penny Murdoch, to have a taste of the power, where they say she was busy at the office, for which the leader of the opposition, Sir Keir Starmer, said, "Oh, she's hiding behind a desk somewhere." Again, yesterday, of course, she was able to defend herself, saying, "Well, I'm here for the job." But at the same time, she just couldn't defend her policies. Again, you could see, as a result of the economy, which has happened, the pound literally just about 3 cents from the dollar, which went to 37-year low or all-time low. And then of course inflation, like you said, and literally just the CPI, which was released last week Thursday, consumer price index for the UK, it showed that inflation has climbed again. Food costs are high. Everything has just gone up. Mortgages have all gone up. You probably will say, yes, she did have a track record as the foreign affairs minister, but when it comes to the economy, unfortunately, she's weak. And again, the person who's actually been in charge after she had to fire her allies, Kwarteng, is Jeremy Hunt. And Jeremy Hunt is from the Raising Tax party, which was same party, but I'm talking about Rishi Sunak. So unfortunately, you could say at some point, the talk of the town was that she's not running the show. Jeremy Hunt is running the show.
And it would seem that interesting days are ahead for the United Kingdom. Allies of Boris Johnson say that he stands a chance of standing in the leadership contest, and seeing him return would also be quite interesting. Gbenga Onifade is a global affairs analyst who joined us live from the United Kingdom. Thank you for talking to us on the news tonight.
Thanks for having me.